Was the universe mocking her, or was this a test of her resilience? As Evelyn Brooks stood rigidly at the podium, the tableau of laughter and gasps in front of her crashed like an avalanche around her cushioned space of disbelief. Every sound reverberated with the sting of betrayal, amplifying her vulnerability under the glaring lights. She could feel her grip tighten incredulously around the mahogany pedestal. She had founded Nexus Innovations, a cutting-edge tech firm, and clawed her way into the role of CEO at 45. The company's annual Innovation Summit, meant to be her crowning achievement, had transformed into what felt like a public crucifixion. Under the expectant gaze of influential figures from the industry, there was supposed to be a seamless performance that broadcast Nexus Innovations' innovative prowess live across the globe. Now, instead of applause, she was ensnared in this nightmare. Her stomach churned when the video started, and it only intensified as the minutes dragged on with her humiliation. It wasn't just misplaced words, it was a forged reality with her face, her voice, peddling insidious cruelty to the absent truth. The video showed an unfamiliar Evelyn deriding charitable endeavors and hurling insults at clients, actions she would never condone. Cameras flashed, the room hummed with awkward chuckles, stabbing deeper than any headline ever could. She tried a quip, a desperate attempt to steady the ship. Quite a conversation starter, huh? It met a chilling reception, only worsening the already palpable skepticism. Undeterred, Evelyn persevered, addressing the sea of critical eyes with a shaky but determined voice, declaring the footage falsified, a mere shadow masquerading as truth. Yet, as more voices joined in mockery, her very foundation teetered on the edge of collapse, the integrity she'd meticulously built crumbling under the spotlight. As she stepped down, retreating from the hostile glare, the announcement of an unscheduled intermission barely registered. Her resolve carried her through the gauntlet of murmuring onlookers, her dignity wrapped tightly around her despite simmering humiliation. At last, she collapsed into the seclusion of the green room, her strength dwindling into shaking exhaustion. Muted chatter seeped through the walls, merciless snippets of her crumbling world, video, fake, career over. Every syllable threatened the bedrock of her identity. Evelyn's phone, a frenetic hive of notifications, lay on the table. Headlines were dissecting every inch of her fallen empire, CEO Evelyn Brooks trapped in scandal. Those scant moments blurred into a timeless purgatory until Haley, her resourceful assistant, rushed in. Worry etched into her features deepened with each word. The press, they're demanding a statement. It's unraveling fast. Her voice trembled, reflecting the cracks forming in their once unassailable fortress. In Haley's eyes, Evelyn saw the reflection of everything they stood to lose, an empire built not only on her vision, but also on the sweat and loyalty of everyone who believed in her. In that fleeting silence, Evelyn understood the urgency to rise once more. In the storm's eye of chaos and whispers, Evelyn Brooks sat in her conference room, desperate thoughts racing as the timer for the next speaker ticked down. The breakthrough moment of Nexus Innovations' much-anticipated event spiraled disastrously. Words, once her allies, failed her. How could she mend this catastrophe? Would it even be possible? Each headline was a glaring reminder of her entwined misfortune. Her days became a battleground, with her name now synonymous with scandal, a situation she couldn't evade wherever she turned. The truth surfaced quickly, fortified by skilled analysts. The scandalous images and videos, the source of her torment, were crafted through sophisticated deepfake technology, artfully deceptive. Still, despite this truth, the indelible mark lingered. Disbelief and skepticism seemed to have settled in the air around her, palpable and invasive. Many overlooked the emerging facts or simply ignored them, cocooned in their assumptions. Where there's smoke, there's fire, someone casually remarked, turning Evelyn's stomach during a networking event. Could assumptions cut deeper than facts? Within Nexus Innovations, the whispers grew. Her facade of confidence remained, but she noticed the shifting glances, the uncomfortable silences. Support from employees seemed genuine yet superficial, tinged with reservation. Investors probed more than ever, clients wavered, and Evelyn's inbox brimmed with veiled threats to her leadership ability. Overwhelmed, she replayed the disaster countless times, wondering who could bear such animosity. Two names haunted her thoughts with relentless persistence. First, there was Dylan Mercer, the head of Summit Tech, a rival known for his contempt. Dylan's disdain manifested in biting comments at industry affairs, always challenging Evelyn's aptitude to lead. Could Dylan orchestrate such a blow to Evelyn's credibility in a bid to dominate the competitive tech sphere? Then there was Sophia Grant, an ex-partner with whom she shared a complicated past. Their attempt at entrepreneurship crumbled amidst discord and bitterness. She departed, pride bruised, yet whispers of her endeavors drifted back to her, suggesting she was carving her own path in the industry. Could she seek vengeance by orchestrating this public embarrassment? Neither fit the bill. Dylan's brash temperament favored overt assaults over subtle subterfuge. Boasting an open victory was his style if he intended to subdue Evelyn. Sophia, however, had always been calculated and comprehensive, seeds of their sour parting growing in the shadows. As Nexus Innovations prospered, potentially overshadowing her ventures, could this be her method of retribution? The speculation gnawed at Evelyn, steering her thoughts like a relentless tide. That night, pacing her apartment, Evelyn assessed the situation tirelessly. One of them surely orchestrated this, or was it both? A hybrid plot crafted from the shadows? Evidence was scarce, intuition a wavering guide. She chose defiance over surrender. Someone aimed to see her fall, but she refused to concede. The dawn brought a clarity fierce and aleatory as she returned to her office. Her assistant, Haley, was already immersed in the chaos of the day, organizing a stack of documents destined for her scrutiny. Her keen eyes captured her unrest the moment she entered. "Long night," she asked, her gentle smile an oasis of support. Evelyn let out a sigh, finding solace in her understanding. "Long doesn't cover it," she replied, collapsing into her chair. "Haley, your insight is invaluable. We need to decipher this mess. It's pivotal." She leaned forward, hope sown amidst adversity, ready to unearth the truth and secure not just her reputation, but the very essence of what she believed Nexus Innovations could still become. The burden of suspicion weighed heavily on Evelyn Brooks's mind, like a relentless storm cloud refusing to pass. She had worked diligently as the CTO of Nexus Innovations, a tech powerhouse she had helped build over the years. But now, her crisis lay bare in front of her, threatening her carefully curated world. Haley, her most trusted confidant, pulled up a chair, concern etched onto her brow. "Evelyn, who are the prime suspects in this debacle?" she asked, her voice a mix of curiosity and concern. Evelyn leaned in, elbows anchoring onto the desk, a pensive shadow across her face. "Dylan Mercer and Sophia Grant. Two potential contenders." Dylan, at the helm of a rival company, Summit Tech, always had a fierce rivalry with Evelyn. Nexus Innovations was the thorn in his side, and what better way to gain an edge than to mar her reputation? Yet, publicly humiliating her didn't fit his bill. His style was all about flourish and drama, preferring epic power plays over cloaked maneuvers. Haley nodded in agreement. Dylan would rather revel in the spotlight if he had set this up. The second thread of her woes led to Sophia, once her business partner at Nexus Innovations. Their partnership ended in turmoil, Sophia walking away with grudges as potent as her intellect. Could she have brewed this storm from the shadows? Haley tilted her head, weighing Evelyn's words. Sophia has always been smart and methodical. If she's still resentful, I could see her orchestrating something like this. Evelyn exhaled deeply, the revelations adding weight to her already burdened shoulders. The problem, she admitted, is there's no hard evidence. Just instincts whispering in the wind. Haley leaned closer, tapping a finger thoughtfully against her lips. "Let's map this out. If it's Dylan, how does he benefit?" Evelyn grimaced. "He destabilized the trust in me, making Nexus Innovations look shaky to our stakeholders, opening a door for Summit Tech." Haley nodded, then prodded, and Sophia? Pure revenge, Evelyn conceded, the words bitter in her mouth. Watching me trip would be satisfaction enough, business considerations aside. They sat in solemn contemplation, Haley concluding, while both scenarios hold merit, Sophia has more reason to inject personal vendettas. Dylan's attack would be more direct, less subtle. With their discussion a stark reminder of possibilities, Evelyn realized confrontation was inevitable. Her tactic needed finesse, a subtle probing to fish out any slip worthy of suspicion. Picking up her phone, she hesitated briefly over Dylan's name before making the call. His bravado made him a tempting first target. The line connected, laden with the weight of their history. "Evelyn," Dylan greeted after several rings, impatience lingering on the edge. "Heard you're in quite a bind." "Let's skip the pleasantries," Evelyn said, injecting casual challenge into her tone. "You've seen the fiasco?" Dylan's voice oozed a smug undertone. "It's the industry's hot topic," he remarked. "That video's something else, a bit too polished, maybe?" Pausing to let the silence hang, Evelyn finally countered. "It's a fabrication. You must know that." "Perception often beats truth," he quipped, his chuckle simmering through the line. "Need a shoulder?" Grinding her teeth, Evelyn pressed on. "Any whispers from your end?" "Surely, a man of your connections has insight." His laughter halted, replaced by icy defensiveness. "Why suspect me? I don't stoop to subterfuge to win." "Just being thorough," Evelyn replied, her tone mirroring his chill. "Good luck with damage control," he snapped before the line went dead. Evelyn exhaled, the interchange leaving her none the wiser. Dylan's behavior was as expected, cocky yet devoid of any hint of involvement. On to Sophia. Her number a tangible relic of old conflicts, she tapped it reluctantly. After only 2 rings, Sophia's dulcet tones greeted her. "Well, isn't this a blast from the past?" she said, an edge of icy amusement in her voice. "What brings you to my door, Evelyn Brooks?" "Sophia," Evelyn maintained a neutral tone. "Surely you've witnessed the chaos of late." "Hard to miss," Sophia replied, a sharp edge underlining her casual words. "You've racked up quite the list of enemies." "Ignoring the jab," Evelyn retorted, "enemies like you?" Sophia's laugh was a blade, slicing through the distance. "Please. If I were gunning for you, it'd be direct. Smokescreens aren't my style." Her words cut, but Evelyn held her ground, deciphering the undercurrents of past rivalries, still no closer to clarity in her quest for truth. Shadows of doubt crept across Evelyn Brooks's mind as she pondered the cryptic clues of betrayal, a betrayal she never expected from her own world. At 42, Evelyn helmed Nexus Innovations, a flourishing tech enterprise she had nurtured from its infancy. Conversations with her suspected adversaries had twisted her mind into knots, presenting half-truths that only left her more adrift. Sophia and Dylan had been under Evelyn's scrutiny. Both contacts left lingering doubts. Sophia, with her razor-sharp demeanor, had denied involvement yet suggested malevolence might reside closer than Evelyn dared to openly suspect. Her words resonated, implying a threat from within. "People like you are taken down by those you trust." The call ended, but the churning notion didn't. Evelyn's workplace, once a haven, now seemed a web of potential destruction. Could a saboteur lurk in her midst, veiled by the guise of loyalty? Dread unfurled inside her, threatening to overshadow her otherwise resolute demeanor. Dylan's defensive arrogance had felt real enough, Sophia's icy sarcasm perplexing. A knock at the door broke Evelyn's reflection. Haley, her steadfast assistant, approached with a stack of reports, her eyes searching Evelyn's countenance. "How did the calls go?" she asked gently, placing the papers down. Evelyn sighed heavily, predictable really. Dylan bruffed, Sophia was cutting, nothing revealed their hand. Haley perched across from her, a thoughtful expression settling. Perhaps Sophia is right. Could it be an inside job? The suggestion mirrored Sophia's veiled warning and unnerved Evelyn. "Are you suggesting someone from Nexus Innovations?" "Not impossible," Haley responded diplomatically. "You've changed things, made hard calls. Not all would find that agreeable." The potential veracity sent a shiver down Evelyn's spine, no longer something she could dismiss. If the enemy lay within Nexus Innovations, it was someone intimately familiar with the tapestry of its structure, someone with access to sensitive data, resources meant to be sealed to all but a precious few. Determined to peel back the layers shrouding the transgressor, Evelyn wielded discretion like a shield. Days blended into nights as she and Haley pursued every faint whisper of a lead, late hours mastering their resolve. With meticulous precision, Haley charted timelines, correlated data, crafting logic from the chaos. If a strand were severable, she was set on finding the seam. One evening, bathed in the soft hum of fluorescent lights, Haley mused, "What if this isn't about business competition at all?" Evelyn tilted her head, curiosity piqued. "What do you mean, personal?" "This felt like an engineered strike against you, Evelyn," Haley explained. "The data in that video, how it humiliated you specifically. It's not just about Nexus Innovations." A realization settled over Evelyn, chilling and undeniable. The campaign had been tailored to her, preying on past vulnerabilities, targeting a more intimate realm of her life than she had initially acknowledged. But why? And who had this depth of animosity? Early the next morning, Evelyn was jarred from her contemplations by her phone's chime, an email from Ethan, head of IT stamped with urgency. Subject: Update on Deepfake investigation. Ethan's message was brief yet loaded with promise. There was a lead, a strand of hope. She was in the IT department as swiftly as her feet would carry her. Ethan's office was a panorama of screens alive with data streams and errant timelines. He beckoned her into this frontier of discovery, his face an enigmatic blend of hope and tension. "We've been on this around the clock," Ethan began, his words a lifeline for Evelyn, their promise the first glimmer of clarity in a dark dissonance threatening to drown her world. Under the dim fluorescent lights of the office, a quiet revelation dawned as Evelyn Brooks hunched over her keyboard, eyes flickering with resolve. Finally, a lead surfaced in the morass of deceit. A suspicious anomaly had crept into their systems the moment her presentation fell apart. This new truth weighed heavily upon her, like the pressure before a storm breaking. "We uncovered some strange activity during the upload of that malicious video," Ethan, the head of IT, explained as Evelyn approached him. Curiosity piqued, Evelyn leaned closer, furrowing her brow. "Remote access from outside?" "No," Ethan replied, shaking his head. "The access was through a VPN, hiding the user's origin, but it was generated internally. We backtracked to a department, communications." Evelyn's mind raced. The communications department was responsible for curating public-facing content. Whoever tampered with her presentation likely had access to all related materials. This was a lead, a path through the tangled woods of betrayal, but frustratingly, no face yet cast in sharp relief. "What steps are next?" she asked. Ethan's fingers danced across his keyboard, new data unfurling on his screen. "We're probing deeper, aiming to trace the precise workstation that launched the VPN access. Once we pinpoint that, identifying the account used should be straightforward. Keep digging and maintain confidentiality on this," Evelyn instructed, the gravity of the unfolding scenario pressing upon her like a weighty shroud. As she left, the revelation simmered, someone positioned comfortably within her workplace, involved with the event preparations. Who amongst them would jeopardize all they had built? A notification summoned her back to Ethan's office before the day's end. The atmosphere was charged with intensity, flickering monitors casting an eerie light. Ethan's determined visage gave Evelyn hope. "We've found our source," Ethan stated, gesturing to the screen thick with server logs and access trails. "The VPN activity during your summit pointed to a station assigned to Lila Hartman, a junior member of communications." The name prompted a rush of recollection. Lila, a new hire, diligent, unassuming. Evelyn struggled to reconcile her with such a breach. "Any new information?" Ethan motioned to yet another screen, heavy with implications. "Here's the catch," he said. Her login details were exploited precisely as the altered video surfaced. But the entry wasn't from her usual workstation. It was from a machine set up for the event backstage. Evelyn frowned, pieces slowly knitting together. "So someone was present during the summit?" Exactly, Ethan confirmed, a grave tone underlying the suspense. With a click, security footage flickered to life, capturing the backstage during the presentation's exact timeline. A figure cloaked in a dark blazer stepped from shadow to shadow, an ID card at a workstation, perfectly in sync with the breach. Though grainy and evasive, the posture and build told another story. This wasn't Liwa. Recognition stabbed at Evelyn. She knew this silhouette. Heart thrumming with realization, she realized it was Haley, her trusted operations manager. Disbelief warred with the visual evidence looping in her mind, a betrayal orchestrated in the shadows. How had she failed to see this brewing storm under her very nose? Coiled in disbelief and betrayal, she trudged back to her office, Haley's actions echoing through her thoughts, a once loyal figure at the helm of disloyalty. As she entered her space, Haley was stationed just outside her office door. Their eyes met, her demeanor unfazed, radiating practiced composure that now felt hollow. "Hey, Evelyn," she greeted warmly, her voice a familiar tune now sour. "Any updates on the tech mess?" Her seamless calmness stirred something volatile inside her, yet she masked her emotions behind a strained smile. "No big changes," she replied smoothly, "but we're making headway." If she sensed the gravity beneath her surface, she didn't betray it. Instead, her intrigue showed through, twinkling in her eyes. "Good to know," Haley said. "The one behind this will definitely face the consequences, right?" "Oh, they'll face what's coming," Evelyn confirmed, her voice edged with the promise of justice, even as her heart thundered with the fresh wounds of her treachery. In the shadowed calm of her apartment, Evelyn Brooks wrestled with profound betrayal, the kind of deception that gnawed at the fabric of her trust. She sat motionless, eyes fixed on the city's distant glow, as her thoughts careened through loops of disbelief. For years, Haley Vaughn had stood by her side at Nexus Innovations, a confidant-turned-conspirator, and now Evelyn knew the awful truth. How could she dismantle this treachery without destroying everything she'd built or tarnishing her own reputation in the process? Confronting her directly could provoke her into deflecting the blame. Public exposure carried the risk of seeming vindictive, casting her in a harsh, unfavorable light. A strategically crafted reveal was needed, one that would catch her entirely off guard. As daylight broke, determination forged a plan. She intended not only to redress wrongs, but also to send a clarion signal that disloyalty would not be tolerated within the walls of Nexus Innovations. "We're organizing a company-wide meeting this afternoon," Evelyn informed Haley with a measured calm, suppressing the tumult inside her. "We'll discuss the Deepfake incident. You'll stand next to me since no one's been closer to this than you." Haley, with a composed smile that betrayed nothing, nodded. "Of course, Evelyn. I'll be there." In the thrum of preparation that day, the atmosphere was electric. Ethan, Evelyn's head of IT, painstakingly compiled evidence into a compelling narrative for the company, each piece a step closer to unraveling the mystery. As the moment arrived and the room filled with familiar faces, anticipation thickened the air. Employees gathered, eager for resolution to the scandal that had cast a shadow over their collective achievements. Taking the podium, Evelyn felt the unyielding gaze of her assembled workforce. "Thank you all for joining us," she began, keeping her voice firm amidst the internal storm. Nexus Innovations has weathered scrutiny due to a malicious deepfake that marred our recent summit. Today, we present the investigation's findings. Ethan took his cue, standing to detail how internal access enabled the egregious act. The audience was gripped, silent as each revelation unfolded, culminating in a climactic evidence, a damning image of Haley captured at the event workstation. Gasps echoed in the hall as all eyes swung toward her. Ethan's voice cut through the rising tension, naming Haley as the saboteur with absolute certainty. "We've identified the culprit, and regrettably, it's Haley Vaughn," he stated, steady and factual. For the first time, Haley's calm exterior fractured, eyes widening as panic surged beneath her practiced poise. "This is a mistake," she protested, her voice vibrating with disbelief. "You've got the wrong person." Evelyn advanced, gaze unwavering. "Haley, the proof is as irrefutable as it is damning." You accessed the data, uploaded it, and betrayed not only the company but me." Haley rose abruptly, her face a tableau of anger and desperation. "You must be mistaken," she implored. "I'd never do this to you after everything." Ethan remained impassive, scrolling back through the damning footage. "There is no mistake, Haley. The card was used under your credentials, and we verified the fingerprints on the device. They match." Murmurs stirred the crowd, tension suffusing the room as disbelief turned to realization. Haley looked to Evelyn, her voice faltering, desperation lacing her words. "Evelyn, you can't seriously think I'd betray you. We've worked side by side. You know my loyalty." Evelyn's words dropped like stones into the charged silence. "True loyalty isn't eroding the foundation we've built together. Real loyalty doesn't endanger everything we've achieved just to serve your own ambitions." Her final, unyielding gaze reinforced the breach her actions had forged. "You have anything real to say this time?" Evelyn Brooks's words hung in the charged air of the office as she watched Haley's gaze flit from one exit to another, her poise dissolving into vulnerability. I was coerced," she stammered, her voice splintering under the pressure. "I never wanted this." Evelyn pressed on, her tone unwavering yet pointed. "Who pushed you, Haley? Why drag me into this chaos?" Defeat overtook her, shoulders collapsing as she sank into her chair, words escaping as a mere breath. "It wasn't about Nexus Innovations," she confessed, tinged with raw envy. "It was about you. You have it all, respect, success. And me? I'm just the assistant, always cast in your shadow." Silence blanketed the room, her honesty laying bare a festering wound. Her eyes met hers, a clash of guilt and latent resentment etched into her expression. "I thought if people doubted you, maybe I'd finally command attention, maybe be seen." Evelyn inhaled deeply, processing the sting of betrayal interwoven with her sadness and need for recognition. "Haley," she began, her voice gentle but still resolute, "you could have confided in me. Tearing down others only to be noticed isn't the answer. What you've done isn't just a personal slight, it's criminal." Her face vanished into her hands as Evelyn turned to address the silent assembly of Nexus employees. "Our foundation at Nexus Innovations is built on trust," she declared, conviction threading through her words. "When that trust is fractured, there must be consequences." Though anger called for legal retribution, Evelyn knew an endless court battle would yield no peace. Haley had entangled herself in her own ambition, a fall from grace irreversible by jail bars alone. Days following were a surreal landscape as Haley's deception ignited headlines and industry podcasts, each echoing her fall from grace. Assistant's deception rocks Nexus and betrayal from within. Inside Evelyn Brooks's struggle, beckoned readers nationwide. Talk shows dissected her motives, branding her forever with infamy, not the respect she chased. Inside Nexus, unity blossomed from the ashes of shock. Employees reaffirmed their loyalty, and tentative investors began to renew their faith, recognizing an undeterred resilience at Nexus's core. Determined to heal past suspicions, Evelyn reached out to Dylan and Sophia, acknowledging the unfair doubts cast their way. They accepted her apology with unexpected grace, a step towards mending fractures left behind. As for Haley, she achieved notoriety, known for ambition's downward spiral rather than valorous climbs. With unshakable resolve, Evelyn set her sights forward, committing to guide Nexus beyond the shadows of betrayal. With betrayal laid to rest, Evelyn focused on rekindling the foundation of trust she had built with others, vowing to cast aside the shadows and step into a future forged from newfound resilience.